Factoring simple trinomials, page 17 in your booklet. Let's look at the question number 22. X squared minus 7x plus 10. Again, please follow the same order for factoring. Is there GCF in these three terms? No, they have nothing in common. Is this a difference of squares? Obviously, no, I don't have two terms. Now, is it a perfect square trinomial? Remember that I'm checking is the first term square of something, it is, of x. And it's always the same thing for the first term. It's always the square of your variable. But what about 10? Do you know a number that is actually squared gives you 10? No, there is no such number. You have 9, you have 16, but nothing is 10. So, no. What about grouping? You have three terms, so grouping cannot work either. So we have come to the next one, which is called simple trinomials. So I will show you how to do it. Now, before I show you the method, I just wanted to show you how much easier it would be if I had this as my example. Now, if you combine the like terms, negative 5x and negative 2x, they actually give me 7x. So this is basically the same thing, only I rewrote it with the middle term being cut in two parts. So now if I had my expression written like this, I would definitely use grouping. So let's try. The first two terms, second two terms, they have x in common. So I'm left with x minus 5. Remember, when you have the negative, you always take the negative in the front. These two terms, they have 2 in common, and I'm left with x minus 5. Be careful that you change the sign in the last term because you took the negative in the front. So now I have two terms like this. What do they have in common? Do I have same thing in brackets? I do. So I will take that out, x minus 5, x minus 2, and the expression is factored. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you because this is basically what you will have to do if you have trinomials like this. You will have to find numbers that you can separate your second term into in order to use grouping. So the main trick in factoring trinomials is to know how do you rewrite the second term. I could have also written it as x squared minus 4x minus 3x plus 10, but I would not be able to group this. I could have written it as negative 6x minus x plus 10. All of these middle terms give me 7x, but still I would not be able to group it. It's only when I separate it with 5x and 2x that I can actually factor. So I will call these two numbers the only two that I can actually use m and n values. So now this is how I will So I'm going to show you how to use this method. First, I will write the trinomial like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are numbers, real numbers. In the example that we had, a is 1, b is negative 7, and c is 10. So now I want to find values m and n such that I can rewrite my trinomial in this way, in 4 terms. So I'm replacing b with m and n. So there is a formula that you're going to use. There is a formula that you can use to find these mn values. So they have to be such values that when I multiply them, they will be the same as the product of A times C. And when you add them up, they will give you B. So this is the formula that you should have in your memory aid. Now I'm going to show you how it works with the example. Let's look again at the example that we had x squared minus 7x plus 10. It's easy to start by first defining your values. So a is equal 1, because I have here 1. And by the way, that is the reason why I call this kind of factoring simple, trinomial simple, when x squared is multiplied by 1. B is negative 7 and C is 10. So I want m times n to be equal a times c, so that's 1 times 10, and m plus n to be equal to negative 7. So which two values are those? You have to guess and try, really guess and check. So now we already know that these values are negative 2 and negative 5, but let's check. Negative 2 times negative 5, it is 10, and when you add them up, it is 7. So we already have 6 minutes, but I will just do one more question. Let's say 24. Quickly, x squared minus 11x plus 28. So first, a is 1, b is negative 11, c is 28. I want to find m times n, that is equal to 28, m plus n to be equal to negative 11. So which two numbers could this be? You can simply try it. 28, is it 14 times 2? It is 28, but that does not give you 11. What about 7 and 4? 7 and 4, when you multiply, you will get 28, but you will get, when you add them up, 11, not a negative 11, so it should be negative 7 and negative 4. So now I'm going to rewrite my expression as x squared minus 7x minus 4x plus 28, and now do grouping.